Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamika. This is Library of Tomes, where I talk to you about all the bookish things going on in my life. Hi, welcome back. How are you? I wanted to do something fun today, so today we are doing the Behind the Booktube tag. I have wanted to do this tag for a really long time, so I decided that we're gonna do it, and I'm going to not talk about cameras for 20 minutes because I will. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the first question is, what kind of camera do you use? And I use a Canon camera. I use a Canon 6D Mark II. I love this camera. It is a DSLR. It is my baby. I literally call the camera baby. And I love it. It is a really good camera. Before this, I used a Canon T6. And I actually have used a Canon M50 for my booktube stuff, but that camera broke right after I got it. Not because of the camera being bad, but because I bought a refurbished camera and it broke on me. So I will be getting another one of those at some point for vlogging. The next question is, do you use any additional equipment, lighting, tripod, microphone, etc.? I do use a microphone. It's not a typical microphone. It's not like a Rode or anything. It's just a cheap microphone from Amazon. It's actually a shotgun, so it sticks right there at the top of the camera, and it has a wind protector over top of it, which doesn't really help in here, but it is on there. I don't really mess with the settings too much. And then I use lighting. I have the umbrella lights, so I keep one umbrella light right here, and sometimes I'll have one right here. I really could use one right here right now. Not quite sure why I did not do that. The tripod I have is a Manfrotto. I couldn't tell you what the model is. I think it's actually a 2128, or no, I'm sorry, 128 RC. I think that's what mine's called. But yes, it's a really sturdy tripod. I got it whenever I was a journalist and I was doing a lot of like outdoor video. I'm also looking into getting some sounding for this room, like to soundproof it, because I don't know if you all have noticed. I know I have. The sound in here, the walls are really thin, and you can hear Brad all the way in there. You can hear the cars outside. It is like 11:30 at night. I'm filming this specifically so that I know that there's less cars driving by, so I can be more conscious of it. But yeah, that's not sustainable long term, so I'm going to be getting some kind of soundproofing, I hope, to muffle that noise. But yeah, that's all I use. I do use a specific lens for my sit down videos. I've been using my 17 to 40 millimeter, and then I have a 50 millimeter as well, but right now I'm using my 17 to 40. I use that for vlogging. I use it for most things, and I really like it. The next question is, scripted or planned? How do you decide what goes in your videos? How do you plan what you say? For me, it's really simple because I've been doing booktube for 6 years now, so I don't really need to do much scripting. And usually the things that I am talking about are either synopses or the books that I've read in the month, or my star ratings, or just answers to questions. So I really don't script videos. I make like maybe an outline, but like right now I literally pulled the questions up and I'm going over them. In my recommendation videos, I literally have like a Google Doc, and this is my iPad, and I just take my iPad and I like go over the questions and or the different books, and I write down like key details and what books I'm going to be going over, and that's literally all I do. So it's more of like an outline kind of thing rather than a script. Next up is, how many takes do you do when filming? So normally you all don't see those things that I do, but I'll stumble, the dogs can come in, or a car will start, and I will just restart what I'm saying. Usually I can just redo it right afterwards. It doesn't take me too many takes. Like I said, I can just do it, or if I stumble or if I mess up, usually I don't need more than 2 takes. If you use music in your videos, where do you use it? I only use music in my vlogs. So like reading segments or different things like that, like a B-roll montage, then music for my outro and my intro. And I get that. I'll use all of it through YouTube Studio. or not YouTube Studio, the YouTube audio library, which if you don't use that as a creator, let me go ahead and be honest with you, you're missing out. It has some really good stuff on it. I know some people don't use it and they use Epidemic Sound, and I am not there yet. I'm not paying for audio right now, but I really like the music on the YouTube library, the YouTube audio library. I love my outro is from there, and I really love that song. And then all of the other music that I use is stuff like that, because it's free, and if you search through and you like kind of know what you're looking for and you kind of know what you want, it's not that hard to find something that you'll end up liking or will work with your video. The next question is, how do you make your thumbnails? And for me, I use a couple things. So, and I can do an entire video on this later on, but I actually take a screen grab from the video. So I'll pose and like smile or whatever, and I'll like take a screenshot of it. And then what I do is I go into Pixlr and I use that to like blur my background and do my whole thing that I want to do there. And then I'll pop it over to I'll pop it over to Canva to put my text and things like that on it. So those are the two things I use. I want to move over to using Photoshop strictly, but I'm not there yet, but I will be. I'm going to be probably switching over and using Photoshop in the next couple months, by the new year probably. The next question is, what do you use to edit your videos? And for me, I learned to edit. So if you all don't know, and I will backtrack just a tiny bit here, I actually have a bachelor's degree in convergent media, which is a communications degree that kind of combines video production with broadcast, print, and radio journalism. And half of my degree was in video and video production, audio quality, like audio production, and print essentially is what my degree was in. And I learned how to use a camera. I learned how to do lighting. I learned everything that I know about production with my degree. So I learned how to do everything with the Adobe suite. So I use Premiere Pro to do my edits. I don't do very fancy edits, but I know that I can, and I want to start doing that, but I just haven't yet. But I also have used iMovie for that, because the Adobe suite is fairly expensive for someone who does this as a hobby. So yeah, I use Premiere Pro because it's what I prefer, but I also use iMovie. I have used it, and I have tried Final Cut, and I might switch to Final Cut for video just because it's less money every year. But yeah, I use Premiere Pro and I really like it. I have been told that it is a steep learning curve for someone who's kind of new to Premiere Pro, and I understand that. It is a little complicated on the surface level, but I really like it. Any tips, tricks, or hacks when filming? Honestly, I'm gonna tell you mine right now. This is like my world saver. So the thing that I think really enhances videos, and I might be in the minority here, but just taking and cutting out pauses or breaths, just cutting that out, they really enhance the video. What I recommend, and this is something that has like changed the game for me with video and getting things out and being productive and being able to post consistently, editing when you can. I know that it's hard to edit an entire video in one go, and I know that from personal experience because I have I should know this, I have a degree with that where I edited a lot of things. So I should be, well aware that editing takes a long time, but you don't really realize how long it takes until you are halfway through a video and you're nowhere near done and it needs to be up in like an hour. So what I do and what I have learned really helps with editing where you can is literally edit when you can. I have carved out specific time slots in my week where I edit my videos. It's like I've carved out specific times in my week where I film my videos. So like right now it's 11:30 at night, I'm filming a video. This is my time where I start filming. I film on the weekends during this time specifically because the traffic's not as bad. You can't tell, but it's usually not as bad. So the next question is, any tips, tricks, or hacks? Me and Izzy had talked about this before, and I was kind of like, Izzy, how are you so consistent? Like, how are you staying on top of it? Like, how are you doing this? Because I just don't have time. And then when I was talking to her about all this stuff, I had just moved. I was still kind of in this idea that I wanted to keep writing. I was, you know, it was a weird time for me. And she told me just to edit when I could, like to edit like 15 minutes at a time. So essentially my tip is to edit when you can, but like carve time for it. So let me be kind of general about this and kind of specific. I work a 9 to 5. So I get to work at 8 and I'm gone by 4:30. And for me, what I like to do is I take my computer with me on my lunches. And what I will do is I will actually sit in my car and I will edit on my lunch break. So I always go outside to my car to edit because I have an hour lunch and it takes me about maybe 15 minutes to eat. So I would sit in my car for 45 minutes, not doing anything, but listening to an audiobook. So what I've decided to do instead, and what kind of helps me out, is I have 45 minutes every single day that I dedicate to editing and getting my videos edited and getting them completely exported and processed and stuff. So I will take my laptop with me and I will get that taken care of, and I can edit a video in a couple days by doing that. Now obviously I can come home and I can edit more, but what I've found kind of works for me and what I really like doing is editing there in that chunk of time. That way when I come home I can actually read and do the lives and talk to my friends and, you know, do other things around the house that I need to get done and film videos. So that's what I like to do. That is what I have found helps the most. And just remember, if you are editing, it takes roughly 15 minutes per minute that you have in your finished product. Kind of just what I recommend is carving out smaller chunks of time to edit your videos. So the next one is one that may be a little more controversial, and that's what makes a good video production wise in your opinion. I have a different opinion for this one than other people do because I have a media degree. So I just want to say I don't follow all of these rules. You see glare in my glasses sometimes. I don't have them on today, but you see glare in my glasses sometimes. You hear things in my background, and you don't hear them in my background, you hear them in the background. I stumble, I leave funny things in, I keep my personality in these videos, and I don't try to come off as someone I'm not. And I think for me, the thing that I like and the thing that makes a good video is just letting your personality come through. That's not the controversial part. But for me, what makes a good production standpoint is just not have those things. And I think that it's kind of unrealistic to think that we won't have those things as booktubers. I mean, we're not doing this for our full-time gig. And I think that for me to sit here and say what's a good production video, what's a good video production wise, I can't tell you, because if I do, I don't do any of those things. I should have another light right here, but I was too lazy to get it out today. My dog shouldn't be jumping around everywhere. I shouldn't be able to hear Brad in the other room. I shouldn't be able to hear the cars behind me. I shouldn't be able to see glare in my glasses when I have glare. Those are all things that are not good production quality. Those are all things that I would not have if I had a full budget and a full production team and I was producing something that I wanted to have good production quality. But that's okay, because I think that for BookTube specifically, to have a good production video, to have a video that has good production, is just to be aware of what you're doing, to be yourself, put your personality out there, don't ramble too much like I do, and then cut out your breaths, cut out your ums, cut out your, you know, likes and your stumbles and your pauses, and just cut out like the stuff that is going to distract people. And that's all I would say, and that's what I would do. So then there's no option to tag people, but since this is a tag and this is the first tag that I've done in a while, I am gonna tag Izzy because I love this stuff and I know she does too. So I'm tagging Izzy from Happy For Now. If you don't watch Izzy, what are you doing? And Izzy, if you don't do this video, I will cry really hard and you don't want to put up with that. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my behind the booktube tag. I really enjoy this tag and I wanted to do it, so I'm glad that we done it. And I will see you again tomorrow for another video. Bye everyone.